So there's a new tag in the YouTube Pagans Facebook group, and I contributed a question, and then we have our questions to answer. So here are 8 questions about a practice, and let's begin. Do you consider yourself spiritual, religious, or a cult? Or like an occultist? Actually, I'm someone who's just I don't really identify with any of them because I'm just me. That's the best answer I got because I'm not the kind of person that's like, well, I'm this. To me, that's just too complicated. I like to keep it simple and just, this is me. I am what I am. I exist. That's it. I like, simple, easy to the point, not overly adjective. How has your path changed since you first started? Well, let me tell you, about 10, about 10 years of this. Ah, I'm looking when I first started 10 years ago to how I am now. There's a huge difference. At first, I started trying to learn what I could do to help support and look out for somebody else. But as time went on, it got more and more like, oh Lord, I don't know what I got myself into. And it's changed for the better, obviously, and there's been a lot of success with it. Like, I've learned so much more about myself. I've met a matron, and I know she's kind of looking at me like, don't you forget me, but in reality, it's just I've learned so much, and I met a lot of amazing people. I also met a really good mentor of mine who pretty much passed around this time, and I mean, he even helped me when I was in my depression, and I mean, none of where I am right now could have been possible without this path if I never took it. So, but really, I have to thank the person who indirectly pushed me onto this path to do what I got into it for. So I have to give him the whatever. What is your favorite part about my practice? There's too much. There is way too much, but the only thing that I can say is that it helps me get that sense of like fulfillment that I've done something that's beneficial, if that makes sense. It gives that sense of fulfillment when I achieve what I'm trying to go towards, if that makes sense. I don't really have something that's just like, I could do this all day, because it's just, I have something I'm working towards, and I'll do whatever I have to do to get to it, because I'm somebody who's like a chaotic neutral, just like, I do what I have to do for me. I'm not going to go and swing at nobody, but if someone swings at me, then I swing back, if that makes sense. What is your specialty in the practice? I don't think I have one, because I'm someone who likes to have his, well, that's going to sound like a very nasty, dirty way of putting it. I'm kind of somebody who likes to have knowledge in everything, so that way I can adapt. Because if you are too good in one thing, but you're not grounded in everything else, you can get taken down much more easily, and then you get put into an environment you have no idea what to do, and now you're stuck. That's kind of like the idea with mixed martial arts fighting, which I used to do also. If you're a boxer, then you get taken to the ground and doing jiu-jitsu and grappling, you're out of your element. You don't know what the heck to do. But if you're taking some grappling with kickboxing and regular boxing, now if you get taken down to the ground, you can adapt to it, and if you're able to flow, you can take whatever's coming towards you and flow with it. But if you don't know what to do when you get it, it's like, oh crap. It's, for me, I like to keep it open and take in anything, and then take what works for me, and if it doesn't work for me, I take and retain it anyway, because I might have someone else later. But if I have to choose a specific part that I specialize in, it would have to be using the alchemic mindset, or as I like to call it, bamboozling, which is pretty much like when something is trying to influence you and you're just, nah, not feeling it. Yeah, I know you want me to do it, but I'm not feeling it. Yeah, see? It's keeping control of yourself and pretty much loopholing your way out of an instance. If you celebrate the Wheel of the Year, what is your favorite Sabbath? Well, I mean, I acknowledge nature and the cycles, yes, but I'm not. It's for me, that's not really something I do. However, I do have a favorite. Yeah, calm down. I have a favorite Sabbath. Actually, two of them. The first one is Samhain. Well, obvious reasons. If I don't do what I'm supposed to do when Samhain comes around, I go deaf. And pretty much when it's, I can't remember what it's called, but when it's when it turns winter, because winter time I'm like in my magical prime, because it's just like I love the cold. And again, I have Saturn in the first house, retrograded in Aquarius, so what can you expect? But that's like the only thing that I got, just those two. Other than that, I'm kind of with the Wheel of the Year, but I do give acknowledgement to it. Are there any areas within the craft, astrology, folk magic, fey energy, that you wish to learn more about but haven't yet? I'm completely open to whatever decides to come towards me and say, hey, learn this. I can't really think of areas that I have interest in because I have interest in everything about it. I guess really the only other thing that I could say is take a look and work and doing some work like with ceremonial, because I mean I know about it, but I haven't done it the most. Because to me, ceremonial magic is like in, we're going back to the mixed martial arts again. Ceremonial tongue twister. Ceremonial magic is like a kata in mixed martial arts, and a kata is a set of moves and pretty much foot positioning and just like a form that you do that was made by somebody else and has been accepted into tradition, if that makes sense. And pretty much you're carrying out the specific aspect in ceremonial magic, and in kata you're carrying out a certain aspect that another person wrote down and has been accepted in tradition, and it's accepted in a societal way. So it's like it kind of is similar, if that makes sense. But then again, I'm someone who's like, hey, if it works for you, go for it, but it's just more traditional. How open are you with your family and friends about being pagan? Well, I'm not really pagan that much. I'm, again, who I am, but I'm just that kind of person that's point blank like, well, this is how I am. You don't like it? Well, I didn't ask you if you liked it. Deal with it. I keep it simple. It's like, oh, you don't like it? Well, I didn't ask if you like it. Oh, you think I should be burned at the stake? I'm already flaming enough, okay? I don't need more flaming, okay? Yeah, I actually got that before, and even some people was like, you should have been burned like the rest of the witches at the Salem witch trials or something like that. And I mean, I just responded with like, you know, putting fire with fire makes more flaming. That's not going to do anything. You're just going to get more flaming back at you. But it ain't going to be from me. It's going to be probably from everybody else skinning you for murder. But anyway. Do you feel like there are people within the pagan community that are dogmatic and preachy, like their way is the only right way? I cannot tell you how many times I've encountered that. It's pathetic and disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm point blank. Another Facebook group I was in, it was in a group of I was one of the admins, and for some odd reason why, One guy was doing something regarding like a spirit or whatever, and all that I said was like, okay guys, do what you have to do, just please be safe. And then all of a sudden all of them were like, you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't even done this practice that long. And I mean, I almost wanted to just unload and just be like, I've been doing this since 2010, and this was back in 2017. 7 years? You don't think I know what I'm doing? And besides, if I'm being just, caring enough to wish and hope that somebody is careful and that nothing bad happens to them, how's that aggressive? And why are you coming sassy at me? Then long and behold, I mean, I got kicked out of the group for whatever reason. But then again, another one of those same admins who voted to get me out, the next day messaged a friend of mine telling him, could you please make sure that he's okay? We're kind of worried about him. Like, dude. What? Why are you now worried about me when you kicked me out because I was wishing somebody else well? I'm just saying. And really, I really don't care. That's why I'm primarily a solitary practitioner. But if I'm invited to be a part of something, I go for it. It's just if I stumble across it, okay, but I have like no real desire about it. Because for me, the craft is at the very core of it. It's the art of witchcraft. Art. What is art? An expression. And with expression, you can't restrict it. Because expression is limitless. There's infinite possibilities of one to express themselves. When you try to restrict that, it only makes things worse, and it completely corrodes the individual's ability to express. When you start nitpicking somebody's perspective and way of expression, it always is going to end well. Don't do it. Because at the end of the day, everybody has their own way of expressing something, and art needs to flow. It needs no restrictions. When you start restricting it, that's when everything becomes a hot mess rather than hissy fit. Why not look and appreciate what you do like about how someone does something? I mean, heck, I'm someone that actually likes it when people, like from other cultures, they have their ceremonial wear. I mean, I like it. It's, traditional. And to me, that has a lot of beauty in it. But then now you have like somebody who's from a different practice, like say, if they're like the stereotypical like right-wing holy person, they would call that person over there like a derogatory word, and then kind of like wish to damn them to hell, and no pun intended. And it's just like, you have your own belief system, they're expressing their belief system, and it's actually a heritage and it's been handed down for a long time. Why are you nitpicking about somebody else's belief system when you have your own? Because the more time you're nitpicking someone else, you could be nitpicking yourself to say, wow, how come I'm not acting like how I'm supposed to, at least according to how this book says? Why do I have to put this book in somebody's face rather than me putting my face more into it? Because there is no right way to express art. There's no right way. There's the only one way, which is how the person chooses to do so. That is how they can make something perfect. And before I completely get the whole thing like, well, nobody's perfect, okay, we'll put it this way. Nobody is perfect because that's how they're perfect. In order to see something perfect, you have to accept that it's not perfect. That's what makes it perfect. I'm gonna get that hamster running in the head, but was that the last question? Yeah, that was it. So, this was my pagan tag. I know it was a little bit longish, and I had a bit of a tangent on the last question, but I'm a very point blank kind of a person and a little bit too honest, and I just say it how it is, and don't have to like it, just deal with it. So, this was my pagan tag, and I'll see you guys later if you decide to come to my lovely channel of Have a Hot Mess. See you then.